Hey y'all, so I have decided to do something this morning that is out of my comfort zone. I'm gonna paint a variation of this pumpkin that I did for my paint party on Saturday, and I'm gonna do it in some pinks and purples, which I thought would be really appropriate for October. So I'm starting with this purple pizzazz from the Deco Art. All these paints are Deco Art. And the Joyful Pink. And also some cactus flower. And we'll also be using some white and probably some black. Let's just see how it goes. So I'm going to start out. We're just going to ignore these lines around the bottom. I've got these pre-traced, and also we're going to ignore these little squiggles that I'm not sure how they got there. But anyway, we're going to get started. And first of all, we're going to do the background, starting with just a little bit of the purple pizzazz and some white. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. So we're just going to start just kind of getting some paint down on the canvas. Sorry about that. I didn't have it positioned right for you to be able to see. I'm struggling. There's a reason I did this in the middle of the day, because it's been a long time since I've done a live, and then it wasn't like demonstrating something. Well, I mean, I guess it was, but it was back when me and my friend and distant cousin Patsy had a boutique. So, Patsy, if you're out there, if you see this, hey, I miss you for doing lives. That made it so much more comfortable. So, anyway, we're just working around the edges right here. And if you need to go, I'm using this 2-inch brush. But if it's better, if you feel more comfortable going in with like a smaller brush, I have a 1/4 inch here too that I'm probably going to use to go around the edges a little bit better. But the thing is, if you get on these lines a little bit, it is not a big deal, because this is supposed to be just a real loosey-goosey abstract kind of painting, and you don't even want your brush strokes necessarily all going in the same direction. The point is, the thing is now to just get all this white space covered. And if you get some paint somewhere that you don't want it, you can always use a baby wipe to get it off. Baby wipes work. Sorry, I'm out of the frame again. I told you I'm out of practice. So let me see if I can move the camera a little bit. I'm out of practice, or I've never really done this. Now, I do weekly videos every week for my weekly newsletter, but I feel like going live is something that's like completely different from making a video that you can edit. Because y'all, like, literally everything has gone through my mind. I'm like, I can't do that. What if I have to pee before it's over? But it's not the end of the world. So I just decided to go for it. You know, what if I mess up? What if I have to use the bathroom? What if? But you know what? If we spend our lives thinking about the what ifs, it'd be hard to ever get anything done. So, I just decided to go for it. Maybe be in the middle of the day. There is a high probability that nobody is watching anyway. And it's all going to be all right. But if you are watching, I'm glad you're here. Just bear with me, because I am no expert, and that is the gospel truth. But I'm trying real hard. So here we go, just working around the edges of that pumpkin. Again, if you feel more comfortable with a smaller brush to do the edges, that's great too. And the one I'm talking about that I enjoy using the most is, if I could get it turned right, this little, I guess that's a 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/4 inch brush. But, hey Terry, hey Miss Vivian, hey Christy. If I don't see you, it's just because I can't watch and paint, but I see y'all three. Thank you for watching. Okay, so now that we've got that pretty much covered, we're going to start filling in our pumpkin. So I'm going to rinse my brush right quick. And the color I'm going to start with is that Joyful Pink. I love that color. I think that is so pretty, and it's very aptly named, I think. It's just a pretty happy color, and I like pink anyway. So we're just going to go in and start filling in some of the sections of our pumpkin just kind of randomly with it. And I'm out of the frame again. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm going to get the hang of this, but I'm not there yet. So we're just going to go around these edges. I may have to get me a smaller brush for this part too. I thought I could do it with this one. But see, this is just a real bright, vibrant pink. And I know it's not like a traditional fall color, but I thought it would be something that would be really good for like breast cancer awareness, which is next month in October. So we're just gonna, I'm painting sideways too, y'all, so just bear with me. Just getting some color into these sections, and then we're gonna do some fun stuff with just some shading and highlights and different techniques that I've actually just now learned. I'm far from being, I'm not an expert painter. I just like to paint, and I've rediscovered it now that I'm recently retired. It's something that's really, I don't know, I didn't know how much I did like to paint till I started doing it just about every day. So we're just gonna get those going pretty good here and there. If you get into some of the wet paint where the purple is, hey, that's all right too. We are not worried about it. And I'm also not even gonna, I have my little dryer thing here, but I'm actually not even gonna use it because I don't care if it runs in, the colors run into each other a little bit. I think that's just gonna make it prettier. And what I told my friends at my paint party Saturday is just trust the process. And some people that I've been learning from say this all the time: trust the process and don't judge your work or anybody else's until the end result, because this is not what it's going to look like at the end. So just start in with some of this color, and we're going to hit it with some white too in a minute. But just whatever feels good to you. If it streaks a little bit like that just did, the colors mixing together, that's all that much more better. It's all good if it streaks together. It is not a problem. And it's going to streak a lot right here because I can see I've got a little bit of paint that I didn't really work in good. It's all good. This is what I like to call, and this is not an original statement either, but I do like to call this fun art, not fine art. It's art that anybody can do, even if you have zero painting skills. It's just fun and it's easy, and it's, for me, just very stress relieving, very relaxing. I just love it. So just get that worked in. I think I am gonna have to get the little brush for those little places, but in the meantime we'll just go ahead and I think I'll just cover that whole thing up. see, I'm not even really using any techniques. I am just basically using the edge of my brush now, but there's no fancy techniques or anything that I'm doing right now. I'm just getting color down and just going with the flow. And you're going to be able to see the lines even through the paint, because once I had it printed onto the canvas, I actually used sublimation to do that, which is something, it's weird because that's something I usually do on t-shirts, and I'm not making many t-shirts anymore because I've just got too many irons in the fire. But turns out I can put that sublimation printer to good use with printing the patterns onto the canvas. So that was a pleasant surprise to me. I had never heard of doing that until just recently, but it really helps because when I trace them on my own, it makes my hands hurt holding the pen or the pencil for that long. Now I'm just going to grab this smaller brush and go in these little places because they're just kind of hard to get in with that bigger one. And while we're not all that worried about getting on the lines still, it just makes it easier. And I'm going to try to do this whole piece with just 4 brushes. I have that 1 inch that I started with and this little 1/4 inch. And then I'm also going to use a chip brush in a minute to just do some scratching around and hopefully some cool things. So we've got the pumpkin pretty well filled in now, if you can kind of see where we're going with that. So now I'm going to take this chip brush. This is just like a real cheap, stiff bristle brush. And apparently it is also a stiff bristle brush that I didn't clean good because it's very stiff. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Katrina. And I'm just going to dip it in white and tap most of the white off and then just scratch around a little bit. Just make some texture here and there. And again, I got on some of the lines. It's okay. No big problem with that because we're going to do all kind of things to this before it's over. But I'm just scratching around to just kind of give the background some dimension. And I also wanted to lighten up that purple just a little bit. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this desert cactus too and mix it with some paint. But again, when you're doing this, just kind of tap most of the paint off of it because you don't want a whole lot on there. But just do some little scratching around. And y'all, we had so much fun Saturday at my paint party. The girls just went crazy with all different colors, and nobody's pumpkin turned out the same. Everybody's was a little different. Actually, everybody's was a lot different, and I love it because, you know, that's really what art is about. Just doing what feels fun and good to you. So that's the cool part of it. So we've kind of got it all just kind of scratched up now. I don't know if you can see. So what we're going to do now is just go back in to the actual pumpkin part and add in a little bit of white just for some highlights and shading. And again, just whatever feels right to you. I'm going to have to move down a little bit. I'm feeling, I don't know. Can y'all see that? I hope. Just going for some little swooshes there. Again, we're not going for anything fancy. Just getting just a little bit of added dimension in there. And then if we see we've got too much white, we can balance it all out again with some color. So, but we're getting there. I think I'm liking how the pumpkin is coming together. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and paint the stem. Now at the party that I did Saturday, we just mixed some of the shades that I already had on my palette. But this time, for this white, I think I want to use this color called Fawn. You could also just mix some black with some white. You know, actually, I think that is what I'm going to do. It's a woman's prerogative to change her mind, right? So I'm just going to put down just a little tiny bit of black. And I'm just using a paper plate. Like I said, we don't get fancy around here. And I'm going to get this little brush right here. And just dip a little black and a little white. And just mix it up to make some gray. And we're going to get that pumpkin stem. Am I in the frame? Okay. Just making sure. Y'all, I struggle. I'm directionally challenged for one thing. Like, I would be ashamed to say exactly how much, to the point that sometimes right and left, it's a struggle. And I remember when we were building this house, I loved using the power tools and doing all the things, but when it came down to like doing something like cutting around a light, what do you call that? A plug, where the plug covers go, I would get the wood turned wrong almost more times than I got it right. It was pitiful. That's the part of my brain that just doesn't work properly sometimes. Okay, so got this stem filled in. Now we'll just go in while that paint is still kind of wet and just dab in just some pure black just to make some little lines in it to maybe create some shadows. And we're also going to do that a little bit with just a little bit darker than we did the stem. Some shadows up here. On the top of the pumpkin. And we're gonna trace around it. Probably, I'm either gonna take this little pointy brush here, or we might do it with just a Posca pen. We'll do something. So I forgot my paint pens for my party Saturday, so we didn't get to use those. I'm just getting started, and I'm figuring out what I need to have everywhere I go, and I forgot my hair dryer, which we didn't really need that much anyway, because this dries pretty quick, but I forgot that, and I forgot my paint pens. So let's just go ahead and rinse that brush out. And now we're going to start a shadow up under the pumpkin. So for that, I want to start it with some black. So I'm going to keep using this little brush, because for me, it's hard to get in the little dips and edges of the pumpkin with the big brush. So just go in around the edges with that. And then we're going to get into the really fun part, when we're just like swooshing it on, and that's the part I like. It's very freeing to just swoosh it on however feels good. But this part is important too, because for me, if I don't do this, there ain't no telling where I'd be swooshing, and it wouldn't be anything cute. And that's why I said when we first started, just kind of ignore the lines that I had down here at the bottom, because you don't even need them. They just came with the tracer I was using, and just really don't need them at all. So I have got both of these 1-inch brushes dirty. I got to clean one right quick. I guess I better clean both of them, or they'll be icky like that chip brush was. But I've been working really hard to put together some fun kind of paint parties. But the pumpkin is the only one that I've actually done so far. I've got a lot of things in mind, though, that I want to do for fall and for Christmas, too. But I'm going to have to turn this a little bit this way, but I'm going to try to make sure I've got it where you can still see. But we're just like swooshing, that's a real technical term, swooshing. But you get it. And it doesn't have to be a lot or anything crazy. We're just kind of making the pumpkin look like it's just sitting on the top of the table or something. And if that black looks a little harsh against those pinks, we can just come back in with some gray. And I think that's what we'll do in a minute. And just make it, I don't know, a little softer, a little... Yeah. So here's the gray, and we're just gonna bring some of that in just to make it, just to give some softer shadows. And I really didn't go around like all the edges to this canvas, because I think most of the time you can't tell it anyway. But if you wanted to do that, you could, just for the purposes of right now. I'm not going to, just because it's a little time consuming. But here's where we are. Y'all, I'm struggling to get this camera right and stay in the frame. But what we're going to do now is just take this big chip brush again. I'm not even going to rinse it. You can see it still has some of that desert cactus and some white on it. But we're just going to blob some in just all around. And just, you know what? Before we do that, I want to show you something kind of cool that I just learned. That's why I'm excited about it. I just learned how to do this. You get your brush, and I just dipped it in the water cup. That was just out of the frame. And Cameron Muncher, this was one of the best presents I ever got. If you see this, was this water cup, because it's got that base. But you just take some paint and take some water, and you just kind of just hold your brush right there and just let it run. I don't think I had quite enough water, but maybe so. Let's see. Let's let it do its thing. Just let that kind of run down there. It just gives it some, like I said, this is a real abstract kind of pumpkin, and we just want to give it some character here. So just let it just run on down and do its little thing. For some reason, it doesn't seem like I'm getting, ooh, I got enough water that time. But just let it run down. And I know there's somebody out there saying, you just ruined that pumpkin. And maybe I did, but I don't know. I just like these little streakies that just kind of do their own thing. However, let's don't get crazy. I think I'm going to leave it just like that. I think that is quite enough streakies. I'm just tapping it a little bit to let it run on down and do what it's going to do. And then I am going to hit it with the dryer just a little bit because I do want it to dry enough that we can do our next step. So y'all pardon the noise. I know it's terrible, but here we go. Okay, that's not completely dry, but it's good enough. So let's just take that white paint again and just kind of tap some of it off. Oh, I got a bunch. And we're just going to go in and just kind of do some crazy highlights. And this is the part where you can just go nuts and do whatever you want to do. If it gets on the pumpkin, that's that much more better. And I don't know of a better way to say that. It's just more better. You can even change the direction of the brush if you want to. And just kind of, just make it all, just get some white highlights. Or flip my brush. Let me see. Let me get that up before I make a bigger mess. And maybe I ought to clean my brushes too before I make a bigger mess. I'm trying to go quick because I do value y'all's time. But sometimes quick is not in my vocabulary. All right. So what we're going to do next is just take this little 1/4 inch brush and some of all the different colors that we've been using and just make like some dots on here. And it's okay that it's on that wet color because you want it to just kind of be, I guess, blobby is what I'm going for, the word I'm going for, if that is a word. But just blob on some of the different colors here and there. And if you're interested in doing a paint party with me, I would love that. Now, my only problem right now is that I, at this point, don't have a place to do them of my own. I thought I was going to have somewhere, and that kind of fell through. And so right now, I'm just kind of like, it's, you provide the place, and I'll come and bring my paintbrushes and everything else you need. So the one we did Saturday, we did in a fellowship hall, but we could do pretty much anywhere. I've got one scheduled for the 7th that's in somebody's shop, just an outdoor shop. So it's literally anywhere you wanted to have it, we can make it work. We don't even have to have running water. I can bring a jug. That's what I don't have water upstairs here at my house where I paint. So I just keep a jug of water up here, and that's what I use for my rinse water and everything. So right now, like I said, we're just blobbing this on. Just here and there, just as the spirit moves you. Just some little dots to add some interest. And I've never thought that I liked abstract art, but there's just something about this pumpkin. I do like it. So now, what we're going to do is take our paint pen and outline this a little bit. So, if you haven't used these Posca paint pens before, I cannot get that in there straight. Y'all, I'm so, okay. If I can turn it. Oh my goodness, y'all, I'm sorry. Posca paint pen. It is really neat to use because sometimes I do take this little liner brush to do my outlining. Again, I can't get that in the frame, but that's just a very little tiny brush, and I go around the edges with it. But this time, I think I do want to use the pen because it's just quicker. And also, before I do that, let me dry just a little bit. Because if I don't dry, well, number one, I'm going to end up getting my big old hand in it somewhere. After I paint, I have paint all up my forearms, and it's crazy. But also, it'd mess up my little pen if I don't have it dry along these black edges. So, I do want to do that just right quick. But I think it is maybe just about dry enough to go for it. And then all that will be left to do after that is just maybe do a little bit more highlighting. But I also want to add in some of these sparkles. And this is Pink is My Passion, and it's neon confetti glitter. So I haven't really played around a lot with that much yet, so we'll see how that goes. And if I can, like I said, keep my big old hands out of this paint, we'll be doing good. See how easy that is to just trace around the edges of that? I love my Posca pens. And my daughter, Scout, got me a big set for either my birthday or Christmas. I can't remember. But I use them like literally all the time. So they're just really neat to have, and they make things a lot easier when it comes to your paintings. And I got a little bit off track right there. We're going to fix that though. It won't be hard to do, I don't think. So yeah, we're just coming around here, and you can see that black line through the paint. So it's not hard to trace around. And I can feel it on my forearm, though. There is some I didn't get dry. It's all good. It's okay. Am I still in the frame? Can't tell. Y'all, I'm trying. I'm sorry. Let's see. Okay. Sometimes I have to pick it up to look and make sure I'm going over the line. And it doesn't have to be like perfectly on the line, but it's good if it can be, you know, for the most part on it. So I'm just going to come up here and start these little lines. And then just go down on this one that, yeah, I'm getting paint on me, but what else is new? I'll pick up a little bit right there because that little blob of Joyful Pink looked especially wet. And that line doesn't go all the way down. see, but that one should go up a little bit, I think. Yeah, and I said you can see through the paint, and for the most part you can, but there's a couple places that I must have got it on pretty thick because it's a little tricky to see. But there's that. So see how just tracing around it just kind of pulls it all together? It just really makes, to me, a big, big difference. Hey, Lisa. Just noticed you were on. So glad to see you on here. Haven't seen you in person in forever. So what we're going to do right now, and again, I'm going to be just as surprised as you are by whatever this looks like, because I have not done these particular sparkles yet. We did do sparkles at my party Saturday, but they were not these, so I think they're going to be pretty big. Can you see down in that bottle? But hey, I like sparkly, so it's all good. But what I am going to do is get another plate for my paint, because I don't want to mix that in. So we'll just put down, we'll start with a little bit of that, and if we like it, we'll do a lot. Ooh, I already did a lot. I can put it back in though. But I'm just going to take one of these 1-inch brushes again. Let's see if I can turn that around so you can see. And we will just do a big swipe up the middle. We're just going to go big or go home with this. And some of those confetti things are big. I don't know if you can see them, but I don't hate it. In fact, if you get it a little bit thicker, the thicker you get that on, the more glitter. I don't think the glitter is showing up very well on the camera, but it is there. And it's also got a little purple in it, so it just kind of works well with our background that we painted. Ooh, it shows up on that black really good. Just trying to get it to where it looks like all the areas got a little bit. And one thing I did that I'm not doing on this one, that I did with my original blue pumpkin painting, I took a toothbrush, and you can just put white paint or whatever color paint and do like that, and it splatter paints. But the problem was that it even splatter painted my hair and my shirt. So I decided to do something a little different on this one, just to avoid the whole painting my hair thing. That would happen when I just washed my hair too, because that's just the story of my life, you know. So anyway, I don't know. I hope you can see that glitter some. It's definitely there. But it's just, yeah, now holding it at that angle, I think you can probably see it. So it's not like a jump out at you glitter, but it is there. So you could also go around the edges of the pumpkin in some black or gold glitter, and actually I think that is, ooh, I smeared it, but it's okay. That's this kind of painting. A little smear doesn't matter. So, let me see if I can find the black, and we'll go ahead and do that. Because I do think it would just add a little something to it. I have some, or would silver be better? Let's try some silver. I don't know. Somehow I feel like that silver on black might be a pretty good thing. We're just playing today, so I'm just going to experiment and find out. And I have some metallics, too, that I bought just the other day that we could use. But for now, let's just run this silver around here and see what happens. Oh, yeah. I think I like that. Again, I don't know if that's showing up on the camera, but it just really gives it a nice little pop. One design that I'm working on that I'm trying to get ready for some of my fall parties is a fall church with just some pretty autumn leaves falling. It's just a little white, old-fashioned looking little church. And it just has the leaves and the pretty background. And I have not tried to paint it yet, though. I've got the tracer and everything, but I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know, but I'm hoping that is going to be something I'm going to be able to offer pretty soon for a paint party. And I've got all kinds of cute things in mind for Christmas. Last night I cut some nativity scene pieces on my laser cutter. My laser cutter was a retirement present to myself, and y'all, I love that thing. I'm already thinking about how I could get a bigger one, because mine is just not very big. It does all kinds of things, but it's just not as big as what I would really like to have. But someday I want to get one of those Big Daddy lasers. Ooh, and another thing I've been thinking about doing, I know not everybody is local, and also that it's not convenient for everybody to come to one of my paint parties, but I'm thinking I'm going to start offering craft kits that I could mail out or do porch pickup or whatever, including one of my tracers and some step-by-step instructions. Like, I don't know if you can see this too good, but for my party Saturday, I had everybody a copy of these step-by-step instructions to do the blue pumpkin, the blue and orange pumpkin. So, I don't know. That's something I'm interested in doing too, even though I do love the connection with others at the parties. I think sometimes a kit that could be sent out is maybe a good thing too. So, anyhow, yeah, there's our silver edges on that, and I think that made a big difference. I'm also gonna take some, if I can find it, I want to do some black glitter on the stem. I think that would look really good. But what did I do with it? That is the question. Do y'all lose things? Like, I am forevermore losing something. And unfortunately, I do not see my black glitter. So, I think I'm going to have to wind it up for now. But there's our pumpkin. I'll post a picture of it so you can see the whole thing better, because I know I'm terrible at getting it in the camera frame. But I enjoyed hanging out with y'all for a while today, and hopefully I'll get up the nerve to do it again sometime. But I hope y'all have a good day, and we'll see you later. Hey, Tammy, I just now saw you. Y'all have a good one.